All right, welcome everybody. With me, I have a good friend who is going to tell us why, Robert, LLCs suck. I want you to break down this controversial title for our friends here on the YouTube.
I would be happy to. So LLCs suck because they are designed to be sued. Okay? Lawyers and attorneys love them because it is so easy to file a lawsuit. They don't have to hunt you down. They don't have to do any, extensive research or anything. They just look up where the registered agent is and who owns it, and they serve the registered agent. That's all they have to do. If you look actually on the Secretary of State's websites, it literally says that the registered agent is there to receive legal documents and to process lawsuits. They're like waiting with their open arms to receive lawsuits. So you're just a target if you own an LLC. And the other thing that why I just really can't stand LLCs is because you can pierce the corporate veil. Like if you haven't filed your paperwork 100% correctly, if you borrow, if you paid with groceries out of your LLC bank account, right? You expose yourself to having everything inside that LLC, and beyond to you personally being taken. It also goes the other way, where if you get into a car accident, let's say, and the insurance, God forbid it's a family or something like this, and there's not enough insurance, and they come after you, and you own an LLC, then they can also pierce it from you personally into the LLC and take the LLC's assets if everything is not exactly perfect inside the LLC. So, for those two reasons, being easy to sue and potentially losing everything inside the LLC or personally because of the LLC, it's just a horrible vehicle. It really is just a big lie in my opinion. It's just a big sales job, limited liability. No, there's no limited liability in my opinion.
Yeah, it seems that what you have said is that the actual definition is the opposite of what scenario you just illustrated.
Yeah.
So what is the alternative in your view?
In my world, it's trust. Okay, and there are going to be people that say, "Oh, trust don't provide any asset protection." Well, yes, if you use your attorney as the trustee, it's like having a registered agent, right? Like they're they're easy to find. You just walk up to their office, knock on the door, and serve them, and the trust has been served in a lawsuit, right? But you can you can design trust and name trust and do things with trust that make it extraordinarily hard to sue. So even the beginning of a lawsuit can cost someone $10,000 to $20,000. And an attorney is just looking for an easy payday. They're going to make sure that their client pays up that $10,000 or $20,000 first before they even start the lawsuit, because they know I can't find the trustee. I can't find, like it's just hard to even get a hold of this, and I'm not even sure who's the beneficiary of the trustee, like, or the beneficiary of the property, so I can't sue them. Like there's just such an anonymity inside the trust, and there are ways to create such asset protection. So let's talk about, like, if you owned a flight school, right? Because we both love aviation. Normally, the
Hmm.
school might have 10 aircraft located inside that one LLC, right? One airplane goes down, all of the 9 aircraft and all of the assets of that flight school might be at risk. The other option is you place each plane in its own trust with its own asset protection. And the LLC, that kind of is the corporate facing, doesn't own anything but just leases those airplanes from the trust. So if one airplane goes down,
Hmm.
the maximum you might lose is that one airplane and whatever was inside that trust, but the liability really stops with that trust, and not everything else is exposed.
If we pull back from an example like that, a corporate example, my experience with trusts has been that they've been really the purview of wealthy people, ultra high net worth. You're talking about trusts as if they could be used for someone with a much smaller asset base. Explain that, and am I right going where I'm going? I mean, a flight school is a very unique example, but how does this apply to some of the people that might be listening to us?
Sure, sure. So my favorite joke is that the worst car you have, like the one with the really bad brakes and like doesn't want to stop and like is the older or your children are driving it, like that should be the thing that you actually put in a trust first. Okay? And the beautiful thing
Hmm.
is that out of my course, what I teach, right? It only cost about $150 to set up a trust. Okay, and that's
Okay.
yep, and that it makes it extremely simple and easy to do. So the assets that are the most likely to hurt somebody, you should put in first. Okay, and then you can set up. Yeah, and the beautiful thing is that you can set up trusts over and over and over again. Like I've set up over 80 trusts, myself, and it just becomes like routine. You can actually set up a trust in 20 minutes. You don't have to consult anybody. Like you can be your own, kind of factory of trust for your family. Okay, and I'm trying to take it out of the super wealthy and the protections that they have and give it to like the people that really care and want to like avoid probate, right? That's a other huge thing that trusts can do is avoid probate. So you can save just thousands and thousands of dollars and somewhere between a year and a half, caught up in probate, right? You can eliminate that for your family and provide a level of relief. The asset protection we talked about is possible trust if you set them up a certain way and you follow certain rules, definitely. And then just the privacy, like why have everyone know what you own, right? Set it up for yourself where it's everything's separate and hard to find and not all in one place. So that's my recommendation. And it's also about setting up the trust like correctly because there's one guy out in Wichita, Kansas. His name is John. That's you know, and he had $20 million of stuff inside of his living trust. It was all together in one place. So his vehicles were in his living trust. His house is in a living trust. He had commercial properties that were in his living trust. I don't suggest setting up that
Hmm.
way either, because God forbid someone should slip and fall in one of his commercial properties that's drunk on the ice, and then all the rest of the assets inside of that living trust are at risk. Okay. And what I teach is that you simply set up an individual trust for each asset of value or at risk and protect that individually from everything else. And do it affordably, do it easily, where you can, take an afternoon and you set up a trust and voila, you're off to the races. And then you don't have to think about it.
So the investors who are following us right now, how do they learn more from you? How do they get involved in the course that you teach?
Sure. So check the link down below. I'm going to be doing a free 1 hour seminar, which I think you did, right? And you got immense
I
value
did.
out of that, and so yeah, that 1 hour seminar is going to go over the basics of like,
Hmm.
how trusts work, that, why I don't like LLCs. I'm going to go into more depth about that as well, and really kind of like give you a roadmap of what like a really good trust system looks like, and talk about some of the naming and asset protection side of things. So go down to the link in the description below. There'll be an invite to a Zoom webinar. We'll update it weekly so you get the latest one. And just come join me. Ask your questions. Like I love the hour that I'm teaching trust is for people to ask questions. Like how does this work? What does this mean and stuff. So yeah, it's a good time. This is one of my
Great.
favorite subjects to talk about. So absolutely.
I can vouch for that, and I could also say that it will be an hour well spent. I highly encourage everybody watching to get out there and get on the seminar. Follow the link below. You will thank me for it.
All right. Well, thank you for having me on, Brian. I really appreciate
Yeah.
it, and look forward to
All
talking to
right.
you some more on your YouTube channel if you'll let me, because lots of fun things
Yep.
we're getting into, aren't we?
Absolutely, my friend. All right, Robert. Well, thanks. Good stuff.
All right. Yep. Catch you later. Okay.